Yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Griggs, and welcome back to Griggs Talks, where we talk all things sports, where we talk all things Manchester United, and welcome back to another match reaction / transfer catch up. We're gonna combine both today. It's not gonna be a long stream. It's gonna be about half hour because I gotta go on staff fees in about 29 minutes, where we're gonna talk more in depth about yesterday's game, all the news that's been happening. But I figured let me just go on my channel real quick, give my thoughts about yesterday's game, and then this morning news regarding Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Scott McTominay. So make sure y'all share, and subscribe as you join in, whenever you do, and just leave your comments. But yeah, Manchester United beat Betis last night. I think the final score was 3-2. Obviously I stopped watching after the subs came, the main team came off. Just watched the starter 60 minutes, which is all we needed to really have some major takeaways. But I did hear that Collier played good after he came on. Same with Mason Mount, which is good. They're continuing their good preseason form. But shout out Staffy. Obviously, I'll be redirecting to him at the end of this. For Staffy times Griggs, and big up Uthman, special player Griggs. I repeat, bro. Yeah, also we're gonna talk a lot about Ahmad because yesterday he was the main takeaway in terms of performance. But I also thought Rashford, we're gonna talk about him a little bit. I thought he looked really sharp. So yeah, let's get into it. Love United, hate Glitch. Of course, always, man. Was it LUHG, right? Yeah. Bonsoir. Big up. Bonsoir. I think that's French or Italian. One of the two. Anyway, yeah. I'll talk about Ahmad first. For me, yesterday, we're witnessing the beginning of a career that's going to be special at Manchester United. Like, I'm not even joking. Yeah, there we go, French. That's what I figured at first. We're watching the birth of someone special. This is the kid. This is the player that United scouts, when they scouted him from Atalanta, this is the player that they expected to get. It's been a long, tumultuous road. It has not been easy for Ahmad. The loan spells, having other players chosen over him, not based on merit, all that kind of stuff. He's worked hard to get where he is now, and if the preseason is anything to indicate what's coming up this season, it's going to be an absolute special season from him. He has looked absolutely incredible this preseason. I'm not even joking. I haven't seen a right winger that good at United, in terms of the way that he's playing, since probably we had those 10 games of Di Maria in the 20 under LVG until Di Maria's house got robbed. That's how long it's been. This is special levels. He's doing everything that you want in a winger. Ball to feet, we've all known that's Ahmad's specialty, right? But yesterday we saw him making the runs in behind, spreading the pitch open, making those runs in behind, the link play, all that kind of stuff. That is what a complete winger does. Because a lot of people always critique about Ahmad, the physical levels, the quickness. Does he have more to his game other than just ball to feet and being an amazing dribbler? He showed that yesterday, bro. Making the runs in behind that Casemiro was able to find them on. The ball striking, the guy just smashes the ball. It's incredible. And his variety, his finishing, the decision making, he just has everything in his bag. And for me, when I look at him right now, I'm not even joking. If this is the level he's going to operate at a consistent level this season, let's say for about 80% of the matches, right? He's not going to play like this every single game. It's pretty hard to do. But if he performs like this for 80+% of the season, I think he's the best player at the club. I think he has a chance to be the most consistent player at the club based on the way he plays, his play style. On his day, is he the best player on this team? Not really. Sometimes you could say maybe a Marcus Rashford, potentially, but in terms of consistent level, because the best are always consistent. That's what makes you great, is your consistency. Ahmad, for me, looks like a player that can be consistent 7, 8 out of 10 every single match, because every single time he gets the ball, 8 to 9, 10 out of times, he's going to make the right decision. And that's what you want in your winger. And, bro, the fact that Ten Hag had this guy on the bench for 4 months is absolutely ludicrous. Should have him arrested, but he's lucky, and he got another shot. And you can tell the way he speaks about Ahmad. Ahmad is a starting right winger. Once Ten Hag loves you, he loves you. He's not throwing you away. Anthony got hooked after like 25 minutes yesterday. It might have been injury. He might have gotten hooked. But anyway, for me, Ten Hag is clearly done with him. With Ahmad, you could definitely tell how much he loves him right now. And one person we definitely got to shout out is the former Sunderland head coach, Tony Mowbray. When Ahmad spent that season on loan at Sunderland, that for me is the best loan move United have done in the last decade. The way he developed his game and the way Tony Mowbray was able to instill confidence in Ahmad in the final third. And I'm not talking about just decision making. I'm talking about the ability to shoot the ball, because I remember when Ahmad first arrived there, Tony Marbury was like exceptional player, probably our best player. But he tries to do too much in the attack. He tries to make everything look so fancy instead of just sometimes blasting that ball. And he instilled that in him. And we saw yesterday that first time finish from Ahmad when he got that cross from Amas. Touch, bang. Sometimes that's how simple football is when you get the ball in the box. No having to do extra dribbles. Just blast the ball and good things happen. So yeah, before we continue those, let's read the comments. Big up Pernay. Who do you think will be making that his best performance this season? I think it's gonna be Ahmad personally. Him, Licha. I think those two probably are United's most consistent players. I think Mainu is probably another year away, because Mainu, as great as he is, as talented as he is, there will be some games where he will not have those kind of consistent performances. Maybe have a little bit different form, but obviously our best midfielder by far. I'm telling you, Griggs Ten Hag will not play him, and trust me, Ahmad will be here for a very long time. That is one thing I can guarantee. Big up, Nessie. Ahmad's floor is better than Garnacho's ceiling, if we're being honest. Absolutely. A 6 out of 10 from Ahmad is a 10 out of 10 from Garnacho. Absolutely. Big up Griggs, big up EJ. Ahmad going to feed us for years to come, but bring me a midfielder ASAP. I agree. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but his defensive work is actually so good. Yeah, honestly, I've always learned this about Ahmad in terms of defensive work. Don't forget, the guy came from an Italian academy. One thing Italy instills in you is defensive work from every single area of the pitch. Whether you're a midfielder, whether you're an attacker, whether you're a defender, they instill defensive qualities in you. And Ahmad showed that from the first time he came in United, the way he was tracking back and stuff like that. He's got that dog in him. He's willing to stick in for a challenge as well. Boy, the guy is special, man. He's got everything you want from a winger. We got a signature and finish, and certain man's wingers made one of the stop. Bro, the Ivorian Messi. Y'all think Papu Gomez was lying when he said that's the Ivorian Messi. He reminds him of Messi in training. There are certain things that obviously he's not as good as Lionel Messi. Ahmad will never be as good as Lionel Messi. Like we could do the joke and stuff like that, but there's certain movements in him, certain actions that just you're watching it and you're like, yo, this is Messi. It's like that kind of stuff. And yesterday we saw a lot of it. So yeah. It's going to be a special season from him. I thought he looked really good. For me, that right wing spot's already locked up. Garnacho, back to 6-man rule, what he should have had in the first place. And I'm excited to watch what Ahmad does with the Xerxes as well, because he looked really good with the false 9 in Sancho, right? And Sancho's not a false 9. Imagine what he'll do with a false 9 like Xerxes. So I'm excited to see what Ahmad does. Community Shield against City next week. And then obviously the first game against Fulham, he'll go up against Anthony Robinson. So that's one of the better left backs in the league. So that's a good challenge for Ahmad, and we'll see how it goes. I expect him to have a really strong start to the season. And then on the opposite flank, Marcus Rashford. The talent difference between Marcus Rashford's preseason from last season to this season is night and day. And for us, it's obviously a good time, because last season I thought he had a horrendous preseason. I know he ended it with 2 goals against Lens in the final warm-up game, but even when he started the season against Wolves, Spurs, he didn't look sharp. Right now, he looks very sharp. Not having the summer off, not going to the Euros might have been the best thing for him, because it instilled that motivation in him. He's got hunger. He's got the desire to prove himself again after that horrible season that he had. Bro, we might be in for a really good season for Marcus Rashford, considering when you're factoring in who's going to be up top next to him this season. Obviously, with Hoyland, he looked good in the connection on Saturday, but you could tell how good Marcus Rashford looks with the false 9, because he's allowed to play so much further inside, as close to the box as he can, and that is where Marcus Rashford is at his best. Once Marcus Rashford is as close to the box as possible, that's where his physical tools and his instincts are able to let him thrive and just blast the ball, make the right decision. It's clear that he's getting into much better 1v1 opportunities right now. Our wingers, that's one thing I noticed this preseason, which I am absolutely loving. Our wingers are getting into more clear 1v1 versus their opposite fullback, and that is what you want to see. Last season, our wingers kept getting doubled up, whether it was on the right wing, whether it was on the left. They kept getting doubled up, and the game was too complicated for them. Now, you're seeing Marcus Rashford 1v1, overlap option from Amas, who we'll also talk about, was always there. Ahmad 1v1, I back him to beat pretty much any fullback in the league. He had that left back from Batiste, I don't know his name, on toast. It was light work for him. 1v1. Or even if it's not a 1v1, it's a 2v2 with someone underlapping to open up the space. That is clear attacking dynamics that we are clearly improving on. And that is what's making me a little bit excited about the season. I'm not going to say I'm fully excited, because at the end of the day, we do have an injury crisis, which I'll mention slightly. But the attacking patterns, the coaching. There's coaching being made at Manchester United, whether it be the rest defense, anything. The addition of Ruud van Nistelrooy and what's the guy's name, Rene Hake, it's clear to see that you're seeing shit, that you're seeing improvement. Now it's just preseason. We have to see it actually happen in a Premier League match until to actually believe it. But if we play the way that we played this preseason against most Premier League opposition, I think we have a good chance to win. Because at the end of the day, yes, the squad is not perfect, but one thing this squad has is absolute game changers. Whether it's Marcus Rashford, now it's Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes, love him or hate him, is a game changer, and he should be back soon, obviously. Joshua Zirkzee, even Jadon Sancho, Alejandro Garnacho, we have game changers. And now having Sancho and Garnacho as your bench options is not too shabby. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But there's no really perfection. There's never perfection. But that's good options to have off the bench. Mason Mount, good option to have off the bench. When Rasmus comes back, good option to have the bench. Or whether it's Xerxes coming off the bench, whoever it is, right? We have options off the bench in attack while our starters are looking like they could have a potentially great season. That's what you want to see. I hate how there's no context in football these days because I've been telling my Arsenal friends that he's better than Saka, but they were saying how can he be better when obviously I've seen a couple of United fans. I saw that one, a big account Academy Scoop talking about Ahmad's better than Saka. I can't really say that yet. I do value production, and Saka has been productive for 3-4 seasons at the top level. Ahmad's finally getting his first real shot. You can obviously think that Ahmad's a better talent and stuff like that. I'm not going to say no. I think if Ahmad has I think we just need to have Ahmad have a great season this season, and then we could probably start having a discussion. Because as of right now, it is disingenuous to Bukayo Saka because he has been playing at the top level for 3-4 years, carrying a team as their best attacker. For Ahmad, it's just the Sunderland days. At the end of the day, as much as I love the championship, it is not Premier League football. So you can have the discussion, you can have the debate, but I think it's a little bit disingenuous to Bukayo Saka because he's so good. I think ETH got Mazraoui to do the invert on the left as a starter. Could be. I think Mazraoui is gonna be so crucial for the overlap and underlap. You see how I keep talking about the 2v2 for the wingers. Mazraoui is better than Dalot at overlapping and underlapping. Mazraoui is much more productive than Dalot in the final third. Dalot for me is better in the first two phases because he's a better technician. And obviously a lot taller, and he's more comfortable inverting. Mazraoui is not that comfortable inverting as a right back. Maybe as a left back, it'll be a little bit easier. But yeah, it'll be interesting when he does. That's why I like Mazraoui, man. Another Swiss Army knife. Can play both sides as a fullback. Dalot as well. So Luke Shaw is obviously not going to be ready, and I think United need to make sure they manage Luke Shaw's minutes really well. I think you need to keep him as fit as you possibly can. Malas is obviously not back. Amas is not ready yet. So it'd be perfect for someone like Mazraoui to even get some minutes at left back and stuff like that. Or whether it's Dalot, whoever he wants to put. Honestly, I don't really care. I think it'd be smarter to put actually Dalot left back and invert and keep Mazraoui as a right back because I think he's a better overlapper / underlapper than Dalot. Personally, that's what I think, but we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, maybe the right center back is up for grab is a little bit shaky, so maybe he wants a stronger defender on the right-hand side in the Dalot and put Mazraoui in the left back. It's an interesting conundrum that he has. It's the hazard style debate. One is clearly the better pure footballer, but Saka is pretty. I mean, not really. I hear it though. I think Saka's a great pure footballer too. But that's just me. Big up Zav. Emirates era. Yes, great choice. Oh, I'm Gucci, bro. I'm Gucci. Gucci. Just talking United. Trying to think who else. But yeah, right back to Rashford because I kind of got a little bit thrown off. Yeah, I think Marcus Rashford looked excellent yesterday. And I'm excited to see. Obviously, he had a little nagging ankle injury at the end when he got stamped on because the refs are absolutely atrocious. And I have an issue with United. I have to address this. United need to stop scheduling preseason matches with Spanish teams. These guys want to kill us out there. They do not want to play football. They want to play rugby. Spanish football is all about the sticky-taka, beautiful football, that kind of stuff. Spain is one of the dirtiest countries when it comes to tactical fouls and stuff like that. Those guys stamp on you. They have no issues doing that. We see it in elite teams all the time, whether it be Betis, whether it be Atletico Madrid, whether it be Real Madrid, whether it be Barcelona, whether it be Bilbao, Sociedad, whoever it is, those guys will stamp on you. They have no issue doing the fouls if you get past them. They will drag you like a rag doll. They have no issue doing that. So I think United to stop scheduling preseason matches, especially on American pitches. That's even worse. That's a nightmare. That's a recipe for a disaster. But yeah, last year looked really good. Harry Amos, the youngster, got to start again. It's obvious that I don't think he'll be going on loan. I think United will kind of keep him in and around the team. Whether it be as a couple left back or stuff like that, or just be in training and then playing under 21s matches. But he looked really sharp. On the ball. He's a top technician. He reminds me a lot of Luke Shaw in terms of technical ability. Obviously, it's not perfect there. He still needs to improve on a couple stuff, whether it be passing decisions, variety in his passing in terms of like crossing and stuff like that. Because right now he crosses it very simply. Maybe a couple of disguised crosses, quick crosses, stuff like that. But that's nothing experience won't fix. Same with defensive issues. He's not the strongest defensively yet, but that could get fixed really quick. It's just playing more games and getting more adjusted to men's football. But you can't teach the feet that he has. They're so quick. You can't teach the combinations, the IQ for that. That's not really taught. That's you either have it or you don't, and he clearly has it. Like Carrington, special education always happening, but he looks really sharp for me. Really happy. And we should all be keeping a close eye on his development. I will say, though, I think he's a year away. I think 12 to 16, 17 months, I would say he needs. I think starting 2025, I think he should be a key mainstay in the position. And I think that's why United, this is why I also think signing Mazraoui is smart and not maybe going after a left back this season. Have Luke Shaw for another year. And then next season, Amos get ready to promote and then maybe bring in another left back. Meanwhile, Mazraoui and Dallo can both cover left back this season while also playing right back. I think for me, that'd be a little bit smarter. You also have Malacia, who will eventually probably be back. So I think for me, that'd probably be a little bit of a smarter choice. Or you even have Anthony, who you could throw at left back because he's definitely not a winger. So, yeah. Almost telling you she's in the academy. He has that ball watching issue. Yeah. Obviously, that's what I said. Just experience. Like, thoughts on the midfield situation? Sources saying only one midfielder is coming in. No, yeah, well, because we can only sell one midfielder, and his name is Mctominay. So once he leaves, we could bring one in. I don't know who it's gonna be. It could be Ugarte. It could be Fofana. Today I heard this link with Sander Berge, from Burnley, the former Sheffield player. I remember we were linked with him, I think, under Ole when he was moving to the Premier League, and he moved to Sheffield. So I'm sure he's pretty well appreciated by our scouts. Wouldn't be a bad pickup at like 12, 15 mil, but not really something that wows me. Even though Casemiro, to be fair, looked somewhat decent yesterday. And we were even playing a 3-1-6 here. We wasn't even building up in the staggered pivot, which was interesting to see. But the passing was pretty good from Casemiro yesterday, and he didn't go to ground. But that's because Betis didn't really have any progressive dribblers or stuff like that. Against the Premier League, I promise you, he'll still be getting cooked. So yeah, he should be getting some minutes this year, though. I hope for good. Yeah, obviously cup matches and stuff like that, but I wouldn't trust him in a Premier League match yet. I don't think he's ready for that kind of intensity. Last thing to talk about Mctominay stinkers his preseason grades. It went under the radar because people's Anthony agenda is strong. Obviously, Mctominay, right? I don't really expect anything great for him. If he is to stay here, I just hope that he could chip in again with the goals that he scored last season, preferably this time off the bench and not as a starter. But I think it's obvious. I think Fulham are eventually going to bid a couple extra million that will eventually accept. I think the desire to getting another midfielder is strong, especially one that's a little bit deeper and can be comfortable. It's clear United will not have that. And I think Ten Hag probably wants another deeper midfielder because I think in terms of the 10 and further advanced midfielders, I think United are set. So, yeah. Yeah, good. Big up Griggs. Big up Lucky. Ahmad is for sure by far our best attacker. Yeah, obviously Ahmad's our best attacker. But I'm excited. Obviously, I think we play Liverpool next. I don't really care about that game. Next week, I think our players are pretty much back in Carrington training with other coaches as well. So that's good. And hopefully by next week we have players ready. Center back will just be an issue. I had to watch Victor Lindelof yesterday, man. Speaking of crimes. That was bad. Maguire Evans probably against Fulham in the Community Shield, against City in the Community Shield. By Fulham, I think Leacher should be ready. So we'll probably have Maguire Leacher for our first game of the season. It's not ideal, but I think we'll have a good enough starting 11 to beat Fulham first game of the season. Then we got Brighton, then we got Liverpool. It's a lot of tough teams that we got playing up. Euro is out for 3 months now, not 2, which is unfortunate. Hopefully it's maybe 2.5 months and not the full 3. He did have a metatarsal injury. We do have to be careful with those. He can take as much time as he needs. Just go get the other center back. We cannot rush him like we did Licha, especially because he's a lot younger, and you don't want him to start getting these nagging ankle injuries. For a player of his profile, his build, it's not good. Can you see any visible upgrade in play style now that Rudy's here? Absolutely, I can see it, and it's obvious. Rest defense is much better. Press is much better. People are back in the press. There's a full commitment. Like I mentioned, the overlap, underlaps. It's clear 2v2 attacking patterns on the sides, on the wings, which is always good to see. I like how we play with the false 9. I'm not going to lie. It's very fluid. And when I look at our attack, I think Xerxes is the best possible option for this attack. I don't think it's Højlund. I think Sancho had a decent game yesterday. I'm not going to say he was great, but obviously he's not really a false 9. But you could tell the fluidity, the space is opening up. I think with someone like a Bruno playing as well, who's going to make those third-man runs, a Rashford who's going to love interchanging, Amad Diallo who can pretty much play across the front 3, or at least across as a 9 and a 10 as well, like he did at Sunderland. I think you have all these moving pieces. I think fluidity is the best option for this United team, and I think the goals that you'll have from whether it be a Rashford, whether it be an Ahmad, who I think is a legit goal threat, or from a Bruno Fernandes, who's another legit goal threat, or even a Kobe Mino, who's obviously proven he could chip in with a couple goals. We have goal threats all over the pitch. I'm looking at this United attack. They scored 58 goals past couple seasons. I think we should be expecting 70 plus. I think this attack is too good to not be scoring that much, in my opinion. It's not the best of attacks, but if all these guys click, Rashford can give you 15 plus. I think Ahmad can give you 12 to 15. I think Xerxes can chip in with double digits. I think Bruno is obviously going to chip in with double digits. Manu is good for about 5 goals. Casemiro is probably good for at least 2 to 3 as well. Offset pieces. Garnacho off the bench, Sancho off the bench, Højlund off the bench. It's a lot of pieces. I think United should be pretty good from that regard. Now, in my opinion, midfielder and defender. I keep seeing United talk about striker. We do not need a striker. We have too many needs in midfield and defense right now to go get another striker. You have Xerxes, you have Højlund, you have Bruno, who's proven he can play the false 9 within the system. You have Sancho, who's proven he can play the false 9 within the system. Stick with that. Go get midfielder, and not even just one midfielder, because that's going to be for Mctominay. All these striker funds, go get another midfielder on top of that. Go get 2 midfielders and a center back, and I think that's a good enough window for a first ever window from Ineos, and we could go on and we'll wait for next season. I think the attack is good for now, man. There's a lot of players up there. Unless someone leaves, unless Essential leaves, then you could go get another attacker. That's calm. But unless that happens, just stick with the attack we have now, man. Some Twitter aggregator said Lindelof had an underrated performance. I don't give a shit. What Twitter aggregator hype. We need to generally start considering that Sancho, Rash, Ahmad front 3. It was moving me, and Xerxes might be. I think, as in terms of starting, I wouldn't be mad with that. Front 3 starting against Man City next week. If Xerxes and Bruno aren't ready, I'm calm with that. Mate, on the injuries, a petition to get O'Driscoll out should start. The man's notorious for injuries, in particular recurring ones. I hear it. I know I haven't heard good things about him, but yeah, the fact that PG was in America kind of makes me lean towards that with Lenny Euro and stuff like that. So we'll see, man. We'll see how the season goes. But I understand why people are a little bit skeptical with him. Reports saying Ruud is making players do repetitive patterns, which I think, Ruud's a great coach. I told you, this team is Ruud's team. Eventually, he will take over. It is destiny waiting to happen. It is probably the most unspoken thing in football right now is Ruud van Nistelrooy will be United's next manager. I don't know when it will be, but the fact that United only extended Ten Hag's contract by 1 year shows that, bro, it's sooner than you think. Rumors that Obi could, I don't think he's ready for that personally, but I think he should be playing cup matches. There's no point in throwing Obi into the academy. He's bigger and stronger than everyone there. There's no point. Stop hating on old people, Griggs. United needs a few. Griggs just don't want another striker because I just don't want another striker because you already have 2 strikers. And unless you're playing a 4-4-2, you do not need more than 2 strikers on the team. I'm gonna be real. Especially when you have 2 players that can also play false niner, Sancho and Bruno, or even Ahmad. You really don't need it. I'm sorry. Especially when you have 2 young strikers in Xerxes and Højlund. If they go get Tony, that's calm. Fine, is what it is. But if it's at the expense of a midfield signing, which United clearly need midfielders, because I don't rate our midfield at all outside of Kobe Mainoo, then yeah, I'd rather get a midfielder, personally. Yeah, bro, Lenny got a fuck. Metaphors, bro. You can't do shit about that, man. You actually can't do shit about that. Victor Gyökeres soon to the Arsenal. Well, if you get him, good luck with that. Not much else I can say about that. But yeah. I forgot about 3 minutes left. Not much else to talk about. I'm trying to think of anyone else. AWB, obviously, apparently is agreed personal terms with West Ham now. So now we have to wait for United to agree a fee. West Ham want to pay us 10 mil. We want 18. I'm probably sure we're going to agree to 15. So hopefully that happens. So, yeah. Bro, I just woke up. I literally woke up like less than an hour ago. I'm not gonna lie, and I have work in like 3 hours. But grind those out. We gotta stream, bro. The people need to hear the opinions, and the people's opinions need to be heard. So we can't go to sleep. But yeah. What else? Obviously, the Mctominay's bid got rejected. Fulham 23 mil. I expect. What's it called? I was about to say something. So we want 30. They want to bid 23. 25 and like 3, which should be good enough for that. I'm not going to lie. Hopefully. Let's have to read that right. There we go. All right. So I have to read that for Staffy. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Quick little one. Afternoon LFC. Well, it's about to be afternoon in 2 minutes for me, but afternoon, morning. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Quick little recap. Kept it about 30 minutes. This will be going over to Staffy, where I will also be there for Staffy times Griggs. We'll be talking more in depth about everything that happened last night and the injuries, all the news kind of stuff. So make sure y'all go over there, show some love. I think Staffy's at like 5.1K or some shit like that. So you're good, bro. Bro, just go over to Staffy's. It'll be a continuation of this. I'm going to be real. I'll just have Staffy's opinions on top of mine. And we all know how me and Staffy got the chemistry when it comes to footy talk. So, bro, what are PSG smoking? 58 mil. Yeah, PSG got to give it up, bro. They got to give it up. But, yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Probably tomorrow night. Hopefully more news and stuff like that. So, catch you on the flip side. Peace.